see if we're able to.
Hello, everybody. How are you? My name is Uncle Bruce, and today we are here with some very important people. They are the presidents of their countries. Okay?
Oh
Donald
my
is the
God!
president of South Africa. And Vera, you're the president of Switzerland, right?
I don't hope so. We don't have a president.
Oh,
Oh, you see,
you have a
ladies
prime minister.
already.
First of all.
You're the VIP, the vice president.
Okay.
And then we have Simone from Belgium. And then we have all of us. Hey!
And then the rest. No, it's not like that. Let me see. Fabio is trying to come in. Let me see if I can send him the link, and then we can continue. Let me see. No, so let's see. We have 2 Americans, 3 Brazilians, 1 Swiss. We call it Swiss German. German Swiss. How do you call yourself, Vera? Swiss German or German Swiss?
No, just Swiss, and then it's the German part we're from. But it's
I think Donald, on the other hand, he's if I'm gonna start, I'm gonna have to say slash. We know anything. He's been living everywhere. Oh my goodness.
Well, it was on Disney, right? You're on Disney, so you're part of every nation.
No, we didn't meet at Disney. We met.
You didn't meet him at Disney. Oh, I thought he was part of the Disney crew.
No, I also worked on for Disney, but then I worked on a cruise ship, and that's where I met Donald.
Ah, okay, cool.
Let me see if Fabio is available.
Vanderlei, change your name. Don't try to be the fake Bruce.
I'm a clone. He's cloning people now.
The clone, yeah.
He's cloning people now.
Oh, good. That's better.
Okay, he's still having some difficulties with his camera, I think.
Okay.
Fabio. Okay, guys, anyhow, tonight for me is very special because when I first joined
it's afternoon here.
Oh, sorry, for us here in Europe it's already 8:30. I mean 8 o'clock, 6 past 8. Hey Fabio, welcome.
Hello guys. I'm so sorry, my headphone wasn't
man.
working very well. I'll try to fix it.
It's fine.
How are you?
We are just starting, Fabio. So I was introducing Donald. It's a very nice friend of mine. When I first joined Crystal Cruises, we were working together. He was my boss, as a matter of fact. Actually, the best boss that I had. He was really, really nice to me. I was learning a lot from him. So that's why I decided to invite him to get to know you guys as well. And actually, we were just talking about it. It's been 21 years since we met.
Wow.
We worked together. We had a chance to travel the world back then. We were very young. Well, things changed. We haven't had the chance to meet again in person, but we kept in touch. So I know lots about his life, lots about my life. But now I'm going to leave it to you guys. You can start asking questions, and he can introduce himself as well. Donald, would you mind tell us a little bit about you before they start asking the questions?
Oh, sure. So good evening, guys. Nice to meet all of you. I am originally from South Africa, but for the last 12 years, I've been living in Poland. I've actually got Polish citizenship. So I am a Polish African or African Pole. I don't know how to quite put it. And at the moment, I'm in Finland because for work. So I do get around. And at us now, it is 10 past or 7 past 9. So in the US, you guys have morning, like I said. We are at the other side of that. So I'm originally South African, been in Europe for the last 12 years. Like Simone said, we know each other from working on cruise ships way back when. That was a fun time, and just like Simone, I met my wife. Simone met her husband. I met my wife on that same cruise ship, and we got married, and we've been married for 20 years. So that's basically what brought me to Poland. So that's me. In a nutshell, that's me.
So, like, just to be clear, like Donald was working on a cruise ship, and his wife was also working there. So they were like, we were all colleagues, we're all hanging out, having some fun, and then before you know it, love happens, and the rest is history, right? Because he had to leave his country for his wife, and he's been in Europe. So your wife is Polish, right?
That's right. My wife is Polish. We lived in South Africa for 8 years together, and then her father passed away, and there were some things we had to take care of in Poland, and we had the funeral, and decided to give Poland a shot, and so that's basically what brought us to Poland, and yeah, quite happy here now.
That's
Nice.
Great to hear. So let's start with some round of questions. Who would like to ask Donald something? Guys, don't be shy. Let's hear. Okay, Bruce, go ahead.
So what kind of work do you do now, Donald?
Oh, now at the moment, I am a wind turbine technician.
A wind
So when you
turbine.
see these,
I
so
think you don't
when
have
you
to
see these-
elaborate on that.
so, you guys all familiar with the wind turbine generators?
I don't think so. I think it's a difficult word.
Basically the machines that create energy from wind. So it's like a big turbine, like in Holland, you guys have a lot of those old ones, but they were used for mills. They have these very high ones, 100, 150 meters high, and they generate electricity. It's part of the green energy movement. So
Do
I
you
work
have
for a
that in
company.
Brazil already? I don't think they have that in Brazil already. Oh, you do?
Yes,
Yes,
They should.
a
They
lot of
should.
them in the countryside and also some in the ocean.
Ah,
Yes,
there you
yes,
go.
we have onshore and offshore. They definitely have them in Brazil. I know we have them in Chile, in Argentina. They're all over the world now. Some people love them, some people hate them. We just build them. So yeah, that's what I do now, and it's a very interesting job.
So you build them and sell them. Are you a sales rep or an engineer?
I'm a technician. I'm actually hands-on. We go with different teams.
So you're part
We
of the
offload
implementation and maintenance.
construction.
Construction.
Actual construction.
You build them.
Yeah.
You build them, and then do you maintain them too, or no?
No, but the company I work for, they have different teams because building and maintaining are two separate things. I mean, it's like a car manufacturer. You know, guys who put the cars together aren't the same guys that actually service the car.
So I put a question in the group here. What are the negative points of wind energy?
Just a question for Donald, Bruce, please. Donald, it's used to go to another country, to country abroad with Poland, and in your job?
Yes, actually, I very seldom work in Poland. I think only last year for 1 month I was working in Poland. Most of the time we're working around Europe, a lot in Scandinavia. I've been in Finland for the last year. Before that, I was in Sweden, in Germany, all over. In Holland, they had one, quite a few in Spain. It's all over. It's all over, onshore and offshore as well.
No, in this trip, the common language that you use is English, isn't it?
Yes, yes. The crew I work with is mainly Polish. That's officially the language on site is English. So when you speak to like site management and let's say supervisors and everyone, your safety guys, the language is all English. So you have to actually pass an English exam during the job interview.
Okay, good. Thanks.
So Bruce, to get to your question about the negative things, listen, it works. These turbines work. They're great engineering marvels. I mean, if you see actually how big they are and how much they weigh and what they actually do. The one negative thing I would say is it's not green per se. I mean, we're using fossil fuel to build it, and we use a lot of diesel with those cranes and everything. So I think it's a bit naive to think of it as, oh, it's all green. It's all at the end of the day, yes, it might be green. But again, when you service it, if you have to change a gearbox or something, you get a crane up there, and these cranes, they guzzle diesel. So I'd say that would be the negative thing, but it's only if you naive to think that it has to be only green. It's not. It can't survive without fossil fuel.
Yeah, I put it in the chat here that I heard some negative points is that it creates a lot of sound with the air passing through the turbine and the turbine operating. Is there a lot of sound, or is that not really a factor?
It does make a humming. There is a humming noise. I mean, imagine you have your fan in the room, like if it's hot and you have the fan blowing. Now, obviously, these ones, they don't go so fast, but I mean, you can hear it, and it is quite impressive. But I wouldn't want to have my house next to that. Let's just put it like that. I wouldn't want to live near them. Just they're beautiful, majestic to behold, but they also kind of ruin the landscape. You have these beautiful forests, and then you have these big giants sticking out. The give and take. One myth I can't just bust over here. A lot of before I started working here, I'd often hear about wind turbines. They kill birds fly into the blades, and it's just bird cemetery. I haven't seen one bird ever fly into a windmill, so I don't know where that story came from. So if anyone's ever heard that these things kill birds, not in Europe. I don't know, maybe somewhere else, but I don't know where that comes from.
Okay.
Carlos, do you have a question?
Wrong. Okay, now it's okay. Yeah, I suggest you split the group because I guess we have two specialists or more, four specialists. Vera is the person to make speeches too, or just watching?
No, she's just watching today. Today is
Ah,
everything is gonna be concentrated on Donald, and that's also the reason why he's now in the middle of the screen. So we will all be asking questions to Donald, and then on Saturday, Vera is coming. So she's getting to observe today. She's also now gonna asking questions, and then she's gonna be the special guest this Saturday.
okay, thank you. About the wind generation, wind energy generation, I guess in Brazil we have a lot of this plants. Okay, I guess there is the positive and negative. And I am a mechanical engineer. I don't work with this. Okay, but I guess it's mainly good for the environment and this. Yeah, I have a curiosity about the cruise ships. I love cruise ships. Okay, I did some in Brazil, in Mediterranean, or in the China to Singapore. And I have a question. When there are some storms, okay, if there are some storms, okay, tsunami or hurricanes, how the ships they go in another way? How do you have this? How do you manage this?
Okay, if I remember, like it was 20 years ago. So firstly, what I do remember is because the cruise ships we worked on were for holidays.
To
So
pray.
no, well, generally the captain wouldn't go into places where it is bad weather. Like when we go to Alaska, for example, we'd only be there in the summer. It's when it's good weather. So they avoid bad weather. But I remember when we'd have crossings. So let's say, for example, I remember we'd go from Australia to, I think it was Hawaii, that crossing like that. We would encounter rough seas sometimes. But these ships are also, they have stabilizers and stuff. It's very good technology over there. So number one, they avoid those kind of things. They avoid tsunamis. Because they're cruise ships, they're leisure ships, they really go where there's good weather. I suppose container ships, they face other struggles, other challenges, but I don't remember it ever being that bad for us.
Okay, done. Thank you.
Questions?
Yes, I can go next. Go ahead, Fabio. I'll go after you. Fabio.
Okay, Vanderlei, thank you.
Mhm.
Hi, Donald. Nice to meet you.
Likewise.
Here in Brazil, we know a lot of things about Europe, especially about England, about Italy, Spain, France, but we don't know many things about Poland. So my question is, I'd like to know one very positive thing about living in Poland and on the other hand, a negative thing about living in Poland, please?
Poland, let me start. I will answer. It's a nice question. I'll answer it. Poland is a great country. I absolutely love it. That being said, not everybody loves it. So it also depends on yourself. Poland is not cosmopolitan. It's not really multicultural. Like I come from South Africa, which it is extremely multicultural. Where I'm actually, let's say, white people are a minority in South Africa. In Poland, Poland is full of Polish people. There's you find very few people of different nationalities there, and some people like it, some people don't, and because of that, there's a stereotype that say that Polish people are racist because Polish kids, for example. Most Polish kids have never, unless they've lived in a city, but like the Polish kids who live in normal towns in the country and stuff, have never seen a Indian person or a Chinese person or a black person face to face. And so when they do see someone like that, they do what all children would do and they would stare. And I mean, I remember having that experience the other way around in South Africa when I'd go to a township area or an area where there's only black people, and the little kids, I would be one of the first white people they've ever seen, and so they would run and stare, and they act like kids. So Poland has a bit of a stereotype about that, saying that they're racist because of the way they react. Of course, you'll find racists everywhere. You find assholes everywhere. So I will never deny that. But for the most part, I'd say one of the most positive things about Poland, how can I put it? If you show that you are willing to adapt to their life, to their society, if you try to speak the language, they accept you. You don't have any problems. And I've asked this of many people from different nationalities, Indian guys, guys from Africa, like Ghana and Nigeria, guys from China. Some would tell me, no, Poland is the worst. They racist, blah, blah, blah. And then I'd ask the next guy and he says, you know, Donald, I've never had any problems. I always treat people nicely and they treat me nicely. So Poland is like that. You get what you give. So and for me, I find that as a very positive thing. Another positive thing, it is safe. Poland is safe. Now I come from South Africa. It is not safe there. Poland is safe. I can leave my wife at home. I'm here a few thousand kilometers away from it. I don't have to worry about someone breaking down our door. I don't have to worry about somebody hijacking our car while she's driving or attacking her on the street. And for me, I love it. It's really, really safe. Negative thing, maybe it's a political situation, but I think all of us can say that about our countries. We're sitting kind of between a hard place and a rock now. Poland is the buffer zone between Europe and Russia. So they always use geopolitically. Poland always gets used to, I don't know, but they always get the short end of the stick. They always get the bad deal. Russia does what benefits Russia. Europe does what benefits them, and Poland is the one that has to get stuck in the middle. And it's hurt them. And you can still see consequences of socialism, which was from the past. So that I'd say is a negative thing. And sorry, Fabio, I'm trying to give you a real negative thing. People can be specific. I think that's true in all countries. I'll put it like this: it depends on the people. Take London, for example. I don't like London. For me, it's too crowded. It's too multicultural. I don't know what a London person looks like. Like if I had to go to Brazil, I know what Brazilians look like. If I had to go to Portugal, I know what Portuguese look like and how they behave. London for me is to mix. Cape Town for me is to mix. I'm not a very big fan of Cape Town either. It's just because I don't know what is the culture, what is the heartbeat there. Poland has got a very it's Polish, and so I do like that. So coming back to the example, my wife loves London. For me, I couldn't be bothered with London. I prefer knowing exactly the culture I'm in. And then if that's it. I love Poland. I don't really have much bad to say about it.
Thank you.
We're so clear.
Excuse me, guys. Well, I'm suffering with my first bout of dengue. Am I pronouncing it right? Dengue fever. And I think I've had it since Friday. I think today was like the second worst day. I thought I was getting better. Oh my gosh, today's been rough. Anyway, not complaining about that. Just getting good experiences of the Brazilian culture, and that's one of them. So I've been saying this is part of being introduced as a Brazilian back to my country. And I've been gone from the country. I was adopted at 1 year. I'm a Brazilian citizen, but I was adopted at 1 year old and went to the United States. And I came back 10 months ago. And I've been working with Bruce at English Brazil, teaching English. And Bruce, I did make CS today, and I made CS and I went and crashed afterward. So
What about your
I
medicine? How's the medicine coming?
the medicine helps. I take it every 8 hours and it
Okay,
helps.
good.
So they're drinking plenty of water. They said get rest. And I'm not a person I don't take naps during the day. I do not, I can if I take a nap during the day, I'm not gonna sleep at night. But however, today I couldn't help it. I was like, I told him after class, I said, I'm gone. I'm gonna go lay down because I got a 3 o'clock. So anyway, Donald, it's nice meeting you. And I was just talking in one of my classes about iconic movies on Monday, and we were talking about Blood Diamond. So the only question my brain can come up with right now is, can you explain to us, maybe that was filmed about what, 20 years ago? So how far would you say that conflict has come in the last 20 or so years? Are they still, I haven't really seen any follow-up movies or any news on it. I just was interested.
No, to be quite honest, I've been out of South Africa for 12 years, so I've also not as in touch with what's happening there. The movie Blood Diamond was quite accurate, and Leonardo DiCaprio's South African accent for me was brilliant. He really hits it there. It's a very specific accent we have over there. But I can. The diamond trade, I do believe, is suffering a bit because you have these synthetic diamonds being made at the moment. And if they can make it in a lab, it makes it cheaper and it makes it more on demand. So I think that maybe takes away the demand on these exactly in African countries. So then they will shift their focus somewhere else. But unfortunately, that is the story of Africa, is where you have the strong abusing the weak to get whatever gold. I mean, the stuff we use for the car batteries, forget what it's called. And a lot of these like precious minerals come from Africa, and they're mined in ways that are not made public because that wouldn't be tolerated in the US or in Europe or in other parts of the world. But in Africa, people get away with it because there are no cameras. It's a different culture. So I'm quite sure it's still carrying on, if not with diamonds so much, but with other things. I mean, you've had illegal, they call it illegal mining, has been happening for forever. And my father works on a platinum mine his whole life. So, we understand what safe mining looks like, but in the most of other parts of Central Africa, Northern Africa, there's kids going into holes, and if they come out with something great, if they don't.
Thank you.
Adenilson, would you like to ask some questions? Welcome. That's your first time here. I hope you like it. Donut is ready for you.
Hello, my friends. How are you? Hello, Donut. How are you? It's a pleasure for
Hi,
me to
hi.
be here for the first time. And yeah, I've been with this question about this kind of the blades of the. I remember when I was traveling to the south of Brazil, there was this truck carrying this huge blade, this that goes to the top of the tower, and I was wondering how long is this blade, and how can you get to the top of this tower, man? I don't know, because it seems like it is a lamppost. I think there might be an elevator or elevator inside of the.
Yeah. Yes, you have an elevator. Well, see, the blades, it depends. They're making them bigger and bigger. The higher the turbines go, the bigger the blades, because they're also making the gearboxes and generators bigger. Offshore, like the ones you get on the coast, those are really long. The farm I'm working on now, it's an onshore, and we're making a very big one. Yeah, there they are. And so our towers are about 100 and this one I think it's about 130 meters high, and the blade is 82 meters long, and it weighs about 23 tons. So that's actually the lightest component that we do install. But how they take it up there is they use a crane. We have big cranes over there with really long booms, and it's a big operation. And we have teams of guys do it. Oh, there you see that's being wood. I don't know how that's going to work, but that if you see that picture over there where it says world's tallest wooden, that's basically what we do. We put up one section, guys go on top, they wait for the next one, and they build it up like that. It's a fascinating way they do it. It's really, like I said, it's an engineering marvel, and it's a lot of work. And the transportation. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this. I work on the department where we take them off the trucks and we put them in their specific places. It's millions of euros to do these farms. It's a lot of money and a lot of work, and it's, like I said, very impressive. So if you ever have a chance to go into, and yes, they do have elevators. I've had to climb the ladder quite a few times, 150 meters up. It's not a lot of fun. You prefer to take the elevator, but yes, we have a lift in there.
They are set together on the ground before elevating them, or they are set on the top, like one by one?
So when you see the tower part, it depends again how big, how high the turbine is going to be. You probably have about 6, 7 different parts. We put one on top of the other, like Lego, obviously, and then we connect them with really big bolts and tighten them. We torque them really tight to make sure that they hold it. A lot of construction and engineering goes into that. So it's one by one we put them in there.
And when look at them, like it seems like they are rotating too slow, you know, but according to the diameter, it generates a lot of power inside. It's really fast inside the rotation because of the. But it seems like it's so slow, you know. So then you ask like, oh, how can this rotating so slow can generate such amount of energy?
And actually, if you're actually inside there and it's turning at that pace, you see how fast it's actually going. And because on top of that, it looks like, or like on that picture there, we call it then a cell. It's like, let's say, a container on top. You walk inside there. We have the elevator goes to the top there, and you walk inside. Because I mean that's where basically the engine of the thing is. So.
Thank you, Donald.
Donald, please tell us, from beginning to end, how long does it take to place one?
If everything is uploaded and everything is ready, it can be done in 2 days. It depends on the weather.
2 days. Oh, it
2
depends
days.
on the weather also, right?
Yeah, wind.
Weather conditions.
So it's wind. If the wind is faster than, let's say, 10, 12 meters per second, then we can't take it up because, you know, then you're going to have this 60-ton component swinging around, and that's just a disaster waiting to happen. So it depends on the weather, but 2 days to install everything, and then we need about another 2-3 days just to finish up and clean, and you know, there's a lot of small little details that need to be taken care of once it's up and running.
So you told us that you're in Finland now, but how long does it take, like a project like this? Do you stay? How long? Tell them. Explain them how that works. Because you told us also that you've been to Germany. How long does it take this project?
Well, different projects usually run over about let's say a year, 9 months, 6 months. Again, it all depends on how many turbines and the weather. But then our rotations, we come for 6 weeks at a time. So we'll stay at the close to the site. Like for example, I'm now staying in an apartment, half an hour away from our construction site, and I'll be here for 6 weeks. And then for 2 weeks, I get to go home, and then I come back again for 6 weeks. So it's a lot of time away from the family, but no, we do what we have to do.
Hey, Bruce.
Yes, Donald, I like science and I like thinking about all these different things. When they're thinking about where to put this turbine or turbines, are they analyzing the wind coming across the land, and they decide, okay, this place, because of the velocity of the wind on many days of the year? That's what they do, this analysis, to understand where to put the turbines.
Exactly. It's, I mean, imagine like when they build a dam for a hydroelectric power plant, they'd find a place where the most water gathers. So it's the same thing, and it's a bit of a catch-22 for us, because we don't want, in order to install them, you want as little wind as possible, but you build them where you have as much wind as possible. So you always, it's very seldom that we get a few days without wind. It's like we get windows of a few hours, say 18 hours, no wind. Okay, guys, now we're going to pump it, and then we have to sit and wait. But yes, that's exactly, it's a lot goes into the planning. It's years of planning just for 6 months of construction.
Mm-hmm. And so if you have a wind turbine here, can you have another wind turbine in back of that in reference to the wind going through? So you can have it like the wind comes in this direction, and you have a turbine here, a turbine here, and a turbine here, all in line with one another. Does that cause any problem?
No, I do believe there is a minimum distance that has to be between one or the other. I read somewhere that the maximum, I think the maximum amount of, let's say, wind that a turbine uses is 67%, which means it can never absorb all the wind, because then, it's physically impossible. But they do. I've seen, I haven't worked on projects, but I know that I've seen projects where you have one turbine behind another, but there's a gap between them big enough so the wind can regain its momentum in order to affect the other one. So I've heard some people say that these turbines are wrong because it's now manipulating the flow of the wind, and that's going to have long-term effects and stuff. And I think it's I highly doubt it. I mean, then trees would do the same thing, and skyscrapers and stuff. So I don't know, but
No, that's crazy.
Wind is like water; it will find a way to go around,
Right.
and it will go where
And
it wants
so
to
the
go.
other question I have in regards to the turbine is aligned basically perpendicular to the wall of wind, right? To the direction of the wind. It's basically perpendicular to that. So does the turbine have ability to rotate a little bit when the wind rotates, or when the wind changes, I should say?
Yeah, it's when you see the turbine and you see that like container, that block on top, it can do 360, and it's got sensors in there, and it's automatically adjusts, and even the blades themselves can turn. Like when the wind is too strong, the blade turns to make it less aerodynamic, so then it doesn't turn so fast.
That's cool. So that kind of answers the question that Carlos had. What happens if you have a hurricane or a high windstorm? You don't want the blades to receive all that wind, so you can rotate the blade so it's not receiving the brunt of the wind.
Yeah, and basically it becomes so unaerodynamic. It's literally, I mean, it will still turn if it's a hurricane, I suppose. But also these blades are very, very flexible. I've seen videos of where you see it really bending. It looks like it's going to snap, and it's
like the airplanes
into position.
Do you know the airplanes? I live in Osasco, which you don't know, but I hear the planes go by many times because there's an international airport in Sao Paulo called Guarulhos. And Guarulhos receives many planes from around the world. And every time I hear a plane, I say a prayer, because I think about the fact this is a tin can going through the air. I'm saying that tin can can go down quick, So I say a little prayer, because I say, I want somebody to pray for me too when I'm traveling, because that plane is crazy. How can a plane big with all these people, all the luggage, how can it stay in the air? Because of the jets, okay? Because of the jets and the jet propulsion. So it's like, man, it's just crazy. All the things that we have created, all the things that we have with advanced technology to help us with our life. The wind turbine is an excellent idea. I mean, it goes back to the windmill from back in Holland and France. They had the windmills forever to help with creating flour from the grains. It would grind the grains to give us flour. That was a main purpose that I think that the windmill was used for, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And now it's used
No,
for
no.
direct energy. It's like, wow, man, it's so cool.
No, the word windmills, the word windmills is an old-fashioned way to call these turbines.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, it is
Exactly.
because it doesn't mill anything. I mean, it's like Bruce was saying. I mean, that would mill the corn into flour or wheat into flour. So it's like a slang. It's a wind turbine generator,
yeah.
actually.
Yep.
And have you already heard about the potential of Brazil, of South America, mainly Brazil, on use this kind of turbines? Have you already studied or heard about it?
Oh yeah, yeah. They have them, Renato. We have wind turbines in Brazil for sure.
No. I think that I don't know if don't have been
Ah,
have
yeah,
it's
Donald, you need to come to Brazil and sell your products in Brazil, man.
yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, because here, mainly Northeast, I think that we have a big potential
A lot
for
of
this
wind.
kind of turbines. Yeah.
You know, it is a huge business, Renato. It's billions. You know, it's billions of dollars, euros, and they're doing it all over. China is doing it. I was saying earlier. I know in Chile we're busy with a very big project in
Não,
Chile at the
não gripe.
moment. In Argentina, all over. So yes, it's very big potential.
Yeah.
Maybe Carlos or Adenilson, we have Fabio.
Donald, does the turbine rotate like clockwise or clockwise?
It depends on what side of the what is it called, equator. If you're in the north, it goes this way. If you're in the south of the equator, it goes the other way. Just like the toilet water. It's crazy. When you're in the cruise ship and you go over the equator, it's like, well, the water's just staying still. Okay, now it's going back the other way.
They
I don't
said
know,
that the
that's a good
Nile
question.
River, the Nile River flows like to north. I don't know.
It does.
Yeah, it's correct. Nile
Yes.
River to north.
Around, yeah, it flows to the north, the Nile.
Yeah.
Into the Mediterranean Sea.
Yeah, here our rivers, all of them flow to the south. You know?
Oh, I guess some rivers in Brazil they go north. For instance, San Francisco or Tocantins River, they go up north.
Yeah. The mouth of the river, it's situated on the north. Yeah.
Not always.
Oh, then
No,
the
that's a good
mouth in the
question.
south. And for instance, San Francisco River starts in Minas Gerais, finishing the Aracaju, Alagoas, the north.
Between Alagoas and Sergipe.
Yeah.
Actually,
yeah.
Francisco River is a board between these two states.
But that's a good question,
Oh, yeah,
Antonio.
yeah.
So, Donald, did you understand? He was asking which way do the turbines flow, turn, rotate?
You know what? I was sitting here thinking, and I think because I remember seeing it from inside, I was going clockwise. So probably when you look at it from outside, it would be then anti-clockwise. But I don't know if that's the rule or if it was just that design of that turbine, because it depends on how the blades are made.
Let's ask Chat GPT. We'll ask Chat GPT.
I'm sure it will know.
Chat GPT is saying I might be wrong, so we're not trustworthy.
Oh, I guess it
might
doesn't
be wrong.
mind. Okay, this way or this way. It's just the position of the
blades.
The pads, okay? The blades, yeah. It doesn't mind if it's in the North Pole, the South Pole, or hemisphere.
I was only joking. But it's an interesting
Okay,
question.
I think it depends on the design, on the actual model. I don't think there's a right way or a wrong way.
If somebody could do a Google on that, that'd be interesting. An interesting question to think about. That's a good question, I didn't know so. So I did ask a question. I asked a question about what amount of energy is generated by one turbine. And of course, I imagine it depends on the size of the turbine blades, all the characteristics of each turbine. But what is the general idea? Is it 1 megawatt or something like that?
At the moment, I think we're doing But of course, it does depend. And the offshore ones, the ones we see on the sea, they generate more because they're able to have they're bigger. But I think on land, we're looking between 3 and 5 megawatts.
3 and 5. And how many houses does that serve, do you think? 3 to 5 megawatts? Just on average,
Bruce,
because
I'd
there's
be
always
lying.
an average. It's not like guaranteed, but
There is, but I apologize. I don't know offhand.
it's a good
Because
question,
usually we
though.
just you definitely be able to find that information if you had to Google it. Because we usually, to see, okay, this farm will generate 380 megawatts, and it can supply electricity for 1,000 homes, for example.
Yeah, something like that.
So, but offhand, I don't know. But it is a big amount.
Roger Lay, can you do that in Google? Oh, I'm sorry, you're out of it. Look at he's
Okay, guys, let's talk about a little bit about cities because because of the traveling that Donald did and is still doing. Do you have a favorite city in the world? Is that something that you like the most from all the travelings?
City in the world. Actually, I do, and this might sound a bit strange or corny. I recently moved in December. We had a house in a small village in the countryside in Poland. Very beautiful place. But we wanted to go to a city, especially when me being away. My wife wanted to be amongst people, not amongst cows and goats. And so we moved to a city in Poland, which is our favorite city in Poland, and it's called Torun. Spell it Torun. And so I live in my favorite city in the world. And one of the reasons it's my favorite city, it's a very, very old city. And it's one of 2 or 3 cities in Poland that was not destroyed in the Second World War. Poland has got beautiful cities, but most of them are rebuilt. They were destroyed. What the Germans didn't destroy, the Russians then destroyed. And I think we have Torun, we have Krakow, and there's another one, I forget its name, which is original. Warsaw was destroyed.
It's new, right?
Yes, Warsaw was completely flattened. Everything is new. It's a beautiful city, but it was built after 1944, 45.
Can you please write down in the chat? Can you write down in the chat
the names of the
your
cities in
favorite
the
city
chat,
so that
would
we
be
we
cool.
can check later on? And Carlos had a question, right? Carlos?
I'm curious about Poland because in Brazil we have some products from Poland, especially chocolate or foods. Okay, and I guess the European Poland is a member of the European community. Okay, Donald. And Swiss, no, Swiss independent. No European community for Swiss. We are rich. No for us. Let me know the industry and jobs in Poland, because I guess the Italian companies are moving to Poland. For instance, Ferrero, there is a plant in Poland. Okay, oh, thank you. This is the map. Okay, about the economy in Poland, this I guess is improving a lot because the European community. What do you think about this, Donald?
You know what? It's quite a complicated answer. I would say on the short term, yes. But then quite often people say at what expense? And I'll give you an example. So life has improved a lot in Poland. Even in the last 12 years, I've seen our roads have improved. How generally everything has improved. Like you can see that the middle class has gone up. But then on the other side, we don't have any, like, let's say, supermarket stores which are Polish. They're all either German, Spanish, French. So most of our big industry is it's not Polish. So you get, like, because it's cheaper for German, not only the shops, let's say factories, it's cheaper for them to build their factories in Poland. They pay less in Poland, and then they take all those goods and they're sold under German prices, and Germany makes the income. So so on one hand, it's good; it creates jobs in Poland. But I mean, it's like America outsourcing to India. They don't do it because the Indian workers are better. They might be great, but they do it because they're cheaper. And in Poland, we have the same thing happening. So in the short term, yes, it's great. So guys have work. But if you start thinking 10, 20, 30 years, we're enriching the neighboring countries, not so much our own country. And this comes down again to politics, because politicians, they make these deals, and that's for the good of them, not so much for us. which is why I find a lot of Polish guys work abroad, like myself and most of my colleagues, because we can make better money working outside of Poland.
I was looking at the map of Poland. Are there any beaches in Poland, Donald?
Yes, yes. In the north, we on the Baltic Sea. This is Krakow. This is a very beautiful city, very old city, which I think it was once the capital. And if you're ever in Poland, that's one of the must. You have to see this beautiful architecture.
How about the seasons, Donald?
You know,
Do you have the
used to
4
have-
seasons or just 2 seasons, winter and summer?
We used to have 4 seasons, and actually from when I came to Poland, it started changing. So the guys complain now. They say, spring is not how it used to be, and autumn isn't how it used to be. It's becoming more of a 2-season place, a 2-season country. But we have a very distinct summer and we have a very distinct winter. Winter is cold and summer is beautiful. Long days, the sun is up until like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. Can go up into the high 20s, 30 degrees. Beautiful, beautiful weather. And it's a comfortable heat as well. It's not very humid. We have beautiful lakes here. Seaside is also very beautiful. I'm not very fond of the Baltic Sea. For me, it's a bit too cold, considering I come from South Africa, where we have the Indian Ocean, which is a much warmer ocean, has warmer beaches. But the lakes are beautiful. It's great swimming. It's very nice seasons. Just I'm not very fond of the winter because I'm from Africa, and over there in Africa we don't have winters.
I'm looking at the
But yes,
beauties,
that's
and are there many castles in Poland?
Yes.
The
yes,
beauty is
a
like
lot.
castles,
A lot of castles. A lot of castles, and like that over here. This is Gdańsk, the one that city, beautiful city. It's very close to where I used to live. Also one of my favorite cities. A great place. And again, if you're ever in Poland, also a must to visit that city. But it was flattened in the Second World War, so everything you see there was rebuilt again, and they did a good job rebuilding it to look original. And that's like the
Beautiful.
old town, the main street. Very, very nice. And during Christmas, they have the big Christmas markets there, which I know in Berlin they have a very nice one, but the one in Gdańsk in the city is very close to the one they have in Berlin. It's often it's very competitive. So beautiful city this.
no,
Sorry to interrupt. Bruce, can you show us where Donald lives at the moment?
Yes, that would be a good idea.
Can you click the, what is the name again?
T-O-R-U-N.
C-R-O.
No, T.
Oh,
Fantango.
T-R-O.
T-O-R.
I'm sorry?
T-O-R.
Oh, okay. T-O-R.
U-N. There, the first one.
Okay.
Okay, so let's see where it's located, because I myself, I don't know where it is. Can you show the country? Map of the country so we see where it is? It's in the north, Donald.
It's kind of, no. It's central north. The central north. So there it is, yeah. And this is actually the birthplace of Nicholas Copernicus. He's from this city. So the guy who discovered that the Earth is round. Nicholas Copernicus. Sorry, because he's in Polish it's called Mikołaj Kopernik. So I have to translate it into English and I forget what it's. But the guy who discovered that the Earth is round is from that city.
Oh, wow.
But I see that Poland has a border. Poland doesn't have a border with Russia. It's with Belarus and Ukraine.
We do.
Yeah, but before they used to be Russia, right?
But if you do, we do have a small part. You see the way you have Lithuania. Next to Lithuania, you have Kaliningrad, and that actually is Russian territory.
Where?
That is Russian territory.
This here?
In part, yeah.
Oh, wow.
So technically, we do.
Wow.
You know,
Come on.
we do border the old USSR.
What are the guys doing there? Oh, come on.
Donald, how far is Toruń from Warsaw?
2 hours, 2.5 hours.
2.5?
By car.
And that's where I flew from last time. That's not that bad.
What river
by
is
car.
this?
Donald, sorry. Okay, Donald, could I just a comment. I saw a movie called The Pianist that got 3 Oscars
Yes.
some years ago, and it's just a comment, okay? And because I'm watching some movies about communism, and I saw this movie Pianist. It was really scary and really impressive, yeah. But I think that for me, Polish or Poland seems to be a country with very courageous people. Yeah,
Courageous, yes.
very courageous. Sorry, courageous people, very strong people. Because the situation that you faced in the Second World War was something incredible. Yeah, so I consider this a characteristic of or a trait of Polish people. Sure.
You know there are, and Renata, the sad thing is they did show a lot of courage and stuff, and they were rewarded with they got obliterated. Literally, their reward was they got hit by the Germans, and when the Germans were gone, the Russians came in and they hit them even harder, and then they got thrown into socialism, communism, and that's really a sad part of history, that Poland didn't get rewarded for what they did during those times. They got punished for it. I mean, my wife's grandmother. Now, all of us, all our countries have past histories and stuff. But my wife's grandmother, for example, she said when during the war she was a young girl, and she was actually made to work in a German officer's house as a maid. And then when the Germans left, the Russians came, and the Russians. I've got nothing against Russians. This is how it happened then. And they said the Germans were civilized. You know, the Germans, they still had a code. You know, it's if you followed the rules, they treated you nice. But when the Russians came in, they said they were like animals. It was raping and pillaging, and they destroyed everything.
Yeah.
And you know, and so that's why I say this courage they showed, this courageousness they showed, was never rewarded. They got punished for it, and it's sad. And with the European Union and stuff, a lot has come back to Poland, which I think is very good. But that's just a sad part of history, that they showed that integrity, that strength, and they got beaten for it.
Yeah.
Donald, just speak about animal. There are any animals that you can find just in Poland that you cannot find in another part of the world?
Oh, that's a great question, Denilson.
That's because he's a biologist. He knows.
Oh, there you go. Is there, Donald?
I have no idea. I'm not even gonna try.
I know they have Polish
idea.
sausage. That's after, you know, the animal dies, they make some sausage out of the animal. They call it Polish sausage.
Well, we have good sausage. That is one. We have got very good sausages in Poland.
Kielbasa.
Oh, I guess in Norway. Hey guys, in Norway there is a cat, a wild cat called lynx. I guess in Poland they have this cat too, because in Scandinavian and Poland you are neighbors. Maybe in some maybe wild area. I don't know if you have so many wild areas, but maybe there are some cats there. It call it lynx.
I think so. I think we also have the maybe the bobcat. I'm not sure. I'm going to be honest with you guys. If you ask me about African animals, I know, because I used to be a tour guide in South Africa. Poland.
Wow, cool! You were a tour guide in Africa.
Oh, yeah. I guess they have cats and dogs and cows. Cats, dogs, and cows.
and some goats and pigs.
I think they do actually have buffaloes in Poland, because there's some part that's
buffaloes.
Buffaloes. Like forest, like really big old forest, which has never been industrialized or stuff, and there they still have buffaloes, which is quite special in Europe.
That is true. I've never been there. It's on the east. It's close to the Belarus border. And yes, we do have buffaloes over there. And it's also great for birding, I've heard. I'm an avid bird. I like bird watching. But yes, Vera, spot on. You know
Good.
more about Polish wildlife
See,
than I do.
that's why Vera was invited for the last batch.
That's good.
You're right.
Oh, thank you, Vera. Anyway, guys, you know what they say? Time flies when you're having fun. We are almost finished with this 1 hour. It's been a pleasure. If you guys really enjoyed talk to Donald, I think next time he'll be back next week on Tuesday, co-hosting with Richard, which is also a South African who was with us last Saturday. So we can talk more about animals in South Africa or whatever you guys want to like to talk to him. However, now we don't have any more time. Donna has also to go to bed because he's working tomorrow morning. Vera and I as well. You guys still have the whole afternoon ahead. But for us, it's almost in the end.
So I just want to say thank you, all you guys that came to support this plan, because this, to me, is what English Brazil community needs, is international English, not only American English, you know, with the American dialect in the British. No, it's a combination of all. Because Brazilians have access to many international companies, but they don't hear these different accents. And so this is excellent to have this opportunity to listen to people speaking English from other parts of the world. This is exactly what we need. So thank you.
Listen, sorry, if I can just chip in there. I taught English for 10 years in Poland before I started doing this, and that is spot on. Just knowing the British and American accent, it's great. But you, as a second language speaker, you will have more interaction, depending where you are, with non-native speakers, and they all have different accents. So it's great what you guys are doing.
Yes, I hear a little British English with your language, sir.
Yeah, South African. They were colonized by the British, so that's why their English is closer to the British.
Yes.
Anyhow, guys, as well, this Saturday, if you have time, at noon Brazilian time, Vera is going to be hosting her session, and she's going to be talking about Switzerland as well as Germany and a little bit of Maastricht, where she lives at the moment. So you're all welcome in Maastricht. That is
I know the name, but I don't remember where it is.
Netherlands.
Netherlands. Yes, it's part of the Netherlands.
She's my neighbor, so it's a very interesting situation that we got going on.
Yeah, you live in Belgium. She lives on the other street in Holland, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
So we'll be talking about this Saturday at noon. So if you have some time, just write down on the agenda, and we will see you there. Thank you all so much for your time.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Bye, guys.
Have a great week ahead.